Hey everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about 5 practical tips for driving safely. In this video, I'll be going over 5 specific tips that are very practical for driving safely. That means that you can implement these tips starting right now. As soon as you finish watching this video, you can implement these 5 practical tips. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Tip number 1 is to increase your following distance. Now, your following distance is essentially the distance between your car and the car in front of you. However many feet you leave, that is your following distance. Another way to measure it is in seconds. You start counting when the car in front of you passes something like a traffic light, and you stop counting when you pass that same traffic light. And what that's going to give you is your following distance in a matter of seconds. Now, a good tip, like I said, is to increase your following distance. All that you have to do is add a little bit of additional following distance. Now, by increasing your following distance, you're going to give yourself more reaction time. That means that if the person in front of you slams on their brakes and you just see those brake lights, shining, and then the car all of a sudden is coming closer to you because they've slammed on their brakes, you're going to have more time to brake effectively, and therefore you have less of a chance of getting into an accident and rear-ending them, or even a near accident. And if you have a close following distance and you have to slam on your brakes really hard, probably harder than the person in front of you in order to brake on time, there's also an increased chance of you getting rear-ended yourself. So with that being said, it's just a very simple tip. Increase your following distance. You want to make sure to do everything that you can. Brake or slow down so that you can add more distance to the distance between your car and the car in front of you. Practical tip number 2 is to leave earlier. What you want to do is take the time that you're leaving to go to a place and add 5, 10, or even 15 minutes. Now, by leaving earlier, you're going to have more time to get to the place that you need to get to, which means that you are less likely to make hasty decisions, less likely to make bad decisions when driving. And bad driving decisions are usually caused because people are in a rush. So what you can do is just leave earlier. I would recommend going the maximum amount that I said and leaving up to 15 minutes earlier. That's once again going to make sure that you are not in a rush, which is going to allow you to make better driving decisions. You don't want to rush those driving decisions because that's when accidents happen. Moving forward, practical tip number 3 is to slow down. Take whatever speed that you're driving at and slow down slightly. This is especially true when the road conditions change. One of the main reasons for accidents is that people drive in the same way when the roads are dry and ideal than when the roads are not ideal. So that means that you're going to drive a certain way when the roads are dry and when it's ideal road conditions. But then as soon as those road conditions change, as soon as it starts raining, snowing, it's super windy, whatever the case is, as soon as those road conditions change, you want to make sure that you slow down and change the way that you're driving. That means slowing down your speed when you're driving in the lane, slowing down when you're turning, making sure that your lane changes are more precise and more on point, and so forth, okay? Moving forward, practical tip number 4 for driving safely is to eliminate distractions. What you want to do is you want to eliminate as many distractions as possible. That means putting your cell phone, putting it away, turning it off of ring, because even if you're not looking at it, if you're hearing like ding, 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 you're getting text messages and you're getting calls and so forth, then it's going to distract you. So eliminate as many distractions as possible. Another thing that you can do, this is a huge tip in my perspective, is to create a playlist. If your phone is connected to your car audio system, then what you want to do is you want to create a playlist. And that playlist will have all of your songs that you like to listen to, and it's going to continue playing the songs that you listen to. This way you're not trying to find songs, you're not switching radio stations and so forth. Pick like 50 to 100 songs that you like, and that's going to give you a good amount of time. And then once you're on the 100th song, it's going to loop again. Just make sure it repeats again to the first song, and 100 songs is a lot of songs, so you're not going to get bored of that playlist. Moving forward to the last practical tip for driving safely, and that is tip number 5. Don't assume things about other drivers. when you see a driver with their turn signal on, obviously most people are going to assume that they're turning or changing lanes or pulling over or doing whatever it is that, you know, would cause them to have a turn signal on in that situation. And it's right to think that they're most likely going to do that, but you don't want to completely assume things about other drivers. It's one of the worst things that you can do. Just because that person has a signal on doesn't mean that they're going to do what you think they're going to do. And if you make a decision based on the fact that that person has their signal on, then it might cause you to get into an accident. That means that if you see that someone has, has their signal on and you're thinking that they're going to turn so it's safe for you to go straight, and then they turn a different direction or whatever the case is, they might just drive in front of you. You have no way of knowing what they're going to do. Even if they don't have a signal on, don't just assume that they're going to go straight. They might be turning even if they don't have a signal on. So don't assume things about other drivers. Make predictions based on what you see, and you can think that they're most likely going to do those things, but don't just assume that they are going to do those things. And that's basically it. In this video, I've gone over five practical tips for driving safely. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.